What if you had a superpower, not flying, not turning invisible, but something arguably more useful? Imagine you could just stand outside and make your own food. No grocery stores, no cooking, no washing dishes. You could just lie in a sunny spot, soak up some rays, and be completely full. This isn't some far-fetched comic book idea. It's what plants do every single day. They have mastered the art of eating sunlight, a process we call photosynthesis. It's the ultimate life hack and ability that powers almost every ecosystem on our planet. It's a quiet, unassuming superpower that happens all around us in every leaf blade of grass. So let's ask a simple question with a not-so-simple answer. What if humans could do it too? So how does a plant eat sunlight? It's a process called photosynthesis, which is a fancy word for making stuff with light. Plants have a special molecule called chlorophyll. This is the stuff that makes them green, and it's incredibly good at one thing: catching photons, which are tiny particles of light. Think of chlorophyll as a microscopic solar panel. When sunlight hits a leaf, the chlorophyll molecules get all excited. They grab that light energy and use it to kickstart a chemical factory inside the plant's cells. It's a tiny, silent, and extremely effective power plant. The plant's factory needs a few raw materials to work with. It gets these from its surroundings. It pulls in carbon dioxide, CO2, from the air through tiny pores in its leaves. It also sucks up water, H2O, through its roots from the soil. The captured sunlight energy is then used to perform a kind of molecular magic trick. It breaks apart the water molecules and rearranges the carbon dioxide molecules. It's like taking apart a bunch of Lego bricks and building something completely new out of them. It's a delicate, multi-step process that has been perfected over hundreds of millions of years. Let's do some math. The average adult human needs about 2,000 kilocalories, or food calories, per day. This is just to keep things running, breathing, thinking, moving around. This is our energy budget. Imagine if our skin were a perfect, 100% efficient solar panel. An adult's skin area is roughly 2 square meters. On a bright sunny day, about 1,000 watts hit 1 square meter. A watt is 1 joule per second. 1 calorie is about 4,184 joules. Now the numbers get depressing. If you stood outside for 8 hours on a perfectly sunny day, with every inch of your 2 square meters facing the sun, which is impossible, by the way, you'd absorb a limited amount of energy. Real-world photosynthesis is far from 100% efficient. Plants are only about 1 to 2% efficient. Some algae can reach maybe 6%. Let's be generous and assume our bioengineered skin is 10% efficient. Run the numbers, and a full day of sunbathing might get you about 150 calories. Let's ignore the math for a moment and imagine a world where human photosynthesis is somehow viable. What would daily life look like? For starters, our appearance would change dramatically. We would all have green skin in varying shades depending on our chlorophyll concentration. Fashion might revolve around sheer clothing, transparent clothing, to maximize sun exposure. Sunscreen would become the enemy, a kind of anti-food product. Instead, we might use photosynthesis enhancers, special lotions, to help our skin absorb more light. Your morning routine might involve not just a cup of coffee, but also finding the sunniest spot in your house to charge up before work. Our habits and social norms would shift. The lunch break might be replaced by a sun break, where entire offices empty out into parks and onto rooftops. People would compete for the best sunbathing spots. Architecture would change, with buildings designed to feature massive glass walls and sun-drenched atriums. Outdoor jobs would become highly desirable, while windowless offices would be seen as deeply unhealthy. So would this be a good thing? On one hand, the benefits are tantalizing. If photosynthesis could provide even a significant portion of our energy, it could drastically reduce our reliance on traditional agriculture. Less deforestation, less water use, a smaller carbon footprint from farming and food transport. World hunger could be partially alleviated, assuming they had access to sunlight. The economic savings would be immense. Imagine a world with no grocery bills. However, there are plenty of downsides to consider. The biological modifications required would be extreme. We'd have to be comfortable with being green, possibly with other plant-like features. A major challenge would be our need for stillness. To photosynthesize effectively, you need to stay put. This clashes with the very nature of being human, our desire to move, to explore, to build. Would we become a more sedentary, passive species? What would happen to our culture, our art, our drive to achieve? If our primary motivation was to sit quietly in the sun all day? Perhaps our greatest superpower isn't one we could get from biology, but the one we already have. A brain big enough to solve our problems, even the problem of getting lunch.